back. I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson Bowman Lombardi,
The fashionista.
the fashionista, co-host of Culture Club HTX.
And you got a new title, Bio Babe.
Who called me the bio babe?
Me. Because you read all the bios for all
our
guests.
Bios, as not biology, as in
God.
biography. I'm the bio babe, yes.
Correct.
I love reading the bios, but meanwhile, I want to introduce my co-host, since you might have forgotten, since we broke away for a little break, but have been out for 6 whole weeks. And this is
doing
our
great
first
stuff.
Show back first. We have been doing really great stuff.
Okay, so who am I? Shavonnah Robert Schreiber, the other half of Culture Club HTX. But more importantly, we have a guest in our community segment.
I am so thrilled to introduce my good friend and brilliant man, Mark Folks, the president and CEO of the Hobby Center for the Performing Arts. I'm going to read your bio as much as I can before I start, adding
That's
to
probably
it.
the only thing she's going to actually read on the paper. She's going to make stuff up. Go ahead.
As president and CEO of the Hobby Center for the Performing Arts, Mark provides strategic leadership for the organization, one of Houston's largest nonprofit performing arts institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Mark is responsible for partnering with the board and staff team to advance, this is unreal, not written well, to advance programmatic and operational goals, including meeting earned and contributed revenue targets, as well as ensuring the Hobby Center demonstrates strong community leadership through education, engagement, and access initiatives. Since Mark joined the team in 2022, I was very involved with stages when he left, so very sad about that. The Hobby Center has activated,
the Hobby Center.
Yes, I did, a comprehensive strategic plan that's ushering in a series of major investments in artistic and educational programming, transforming the role of the organization. I'm just going to say off to the side because I must. I think most of us just thought the Hobby Center was a building.
That's what we're changing.
Yes,
That's
you
it.
really are changing that. We thought you were a building. We understood that you were the landlord of Tuts, but we didn't understand all this fabulous stuff we're going to talk about right now that you've really done. So I hardly need to talk about what you did at stages. Can we just leave that out?
Absolutely. Please abbreviate that.
All of it.
Yeah. So speaking of, you were somewhere else before.
He was at Stages.
How did you journey?
Actually,
I thought we were leaving it out.
I met him at Stages, even did the website for the what's in his bio, which as managing director, he successfully led a 35.8 million, I think he went past goal,
we did a few times.
Capital campaign for the Gordy, which is a fantastic facility, beautiful theater, 3 different theaters, stages supported by family. I mean, it's really
okay. So we're talking about the Hobby Center.
Thing.
So how did you get there?
Yeah, he didn't actually go straight there.
I affirm that the Gordy is one of the most exciting performing arts spaces in the city.
I would say.
But I've been in Houston for about 17 years, originally from Newfoundland on the east coast of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked predominantly in nonprofit organizations in this community and mostly within the arts. I have always had my eye on the Hobby Center. My personal artistic background is musical theater, and so I've always been drawn to the fact that ultimately this building was designed, purpose-built for musical theater.
Yes, I thought it was, yes.
100%, that was the focus, to create a world-class home in Houston for musical theater.
I mean, we have the Alley for Drama, seriously. And several other, now they're small, like Stages and 80 players and stuff like that, smaller theaters.
Well, it is one of the best things about this city, right?
Yeah.
That philanthropy has created such a strong cultural sector.
Largest number of theater seats outside of Manhattan.
I love it, that's
the
right.
US.
Yes, within Houston Theater District.
So do we need to just build one more theater and then we'll beat them? I mean,
I don't.
We need to figure this out.
I think that's a great question.
What one do you need?
Right, I don't know. So tell us about some of the changes that you have made at the Hobby Center since you became the president and CEO.
So I love that Lisa brought up the fact that, I've always thought about the Hobby Center as a building because when I started in this role, I started having conversations with our staff team, with board, with audiences, with supporters, and ultimately asking this question, what does the Hobby Center mean to you? Mm-hmm. Tell me about why the Hobby Center exists. And those conversations were so frequently getting caught on the fact that we're a building.
Interesting.
And then we couldn't move beyond that or get any deeper other than the fact that the Hobby Center for the Performing Arts is a building. So we opened up a comprehensive strategic planning process, and through that had the opportunity to engage with so many members of our community, especially those integrated into the arts in Houston. and really evaluated this question, like, why was the Hobby Center built? And what do we exist to do on a daily basis? And yes, we exist to steward this physical asset of this iconic structure that exists in downtown
So beautiful.
Houston. But ultimately, and what came out of that was that we exist to deepen our understanding of our shared humanity and to create a more connected and cohesive Houston.
You know, I love that.
That's great. Okay.
The tools are, and the arts are a tool to accomplish that thing. And that is what we do, and that's what my peers in the arts do every single day. And so
They don't say
deeply
that though,
believe
Mark.
that.
You have to tell people to start saying that. That's great.
Well, that's ultimately now given us a completely new frame to think about how we do our work and why we do our work. And we've extended beyond just serving as a steward of clients that are in the building and ultimately being curators. So evaluating what artistic gaps exist within our community and then working to resolve those. And so we're curating so many new presented performances that we're going to talk about. We're deepening our focus on education in a really big way. And it has just been such a joy to see like how quickly our community has really galvanized around this new idea of what the Hobby Center could be.
Well, we're definitely not in the Hobby Center now, because if we were, Leisa would have silenced her phone because someone would have told her. So
not
did you not hear this ding?
You know, I may have.
It just dinged.
It's on silent.
Okay.
How could it be on TV?
So
I watched it.
Let's talk about your favorite musical, because we were just there recently to see a musical that I think is one of your favorites, but I'll let you tell the story. So what is your favorite musical? Take a deep breath. Lovely.
There may be some competing opinions on this, which I fully recognize.
Well, no, your favorite is your favorite, and you are so welcome to
Magical
have your
just
favorite.
laughs. He's like shaking his head.
Everybody just thinks
You're
I'm
welcome
some
to
loose
have your.
cannon. I am
You
not a
are.
loose cannon. I'm just curious. That's all.
I guess I would start by saying I sit in a theater seat about 200 nights a year.
Oh, wow.
So I see a lot of theater and performances, and I truly would not be able to tell you what is my favorite.
Yay.
But like you,
Are you running for office? That was very diplomatic.
No, it is. I mean, it truly could not create.
Not yet.
Couldn't say this is my favorite. But for me, it's all about your experience and like what was your emotional sense of being when you went in and sat down for this story.
Yes.
And then, so for me, it is often connected to something that's happening in my life that makes me have the very best experience in the theater.
Yes.
That being said, like to really talk about what productions, we just hosted the National Touring Company of Parade. And that is absolutely one of my favorite productions.
And it was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. Everything about it was wonderful. I just didn't
Except
like
the storyline.
Yeah. I mean, it isn't even the story.
Most audiences.
I just explained the worst, one of my biggest secrets. Everybody knows I have so many. But one of the largest is that my best friend and I are the only two humans we know who left at intermission at Les Mis, like the second month it opened on Broadway, from like fifth row center
Because it
seats.
was too sad.
Oh, we hated it. Sad. It was dirty. It was all kinds of things.
It's dark.
Nothing
It's
about
dark.
it.
I think it's dark.
It was
Yeah.
dark.
And
Yeah,
you were
this
saying
show was kind of dark, but it wasn't that. It was the set and the
The set was
production was
great.
spectacular.
The voices were amazing. The
The
subject
score,
matter.
the score.
Yes, the
All of
subject
it.
matter was something that I would say is not an easy one. It wasn't a joyful. I mean, it is a
No,
tough
it was
subject
not
matter.
joyful.
Yes.
And I think that's probably what led to the response that you had, which I get, right? I mean, it was tough to think that if you haven't seen Parade, you should check it out. It's gone from Houston, but it'll, be other places. But it is hard to see someone wrongfully accused of something they didn't do and then ultimately perish as a result. As a result of hate, really.
Yes.
I mean, that's difficult.
Yeah.
And it's not a typical subject matter for musical theater or Broadway.
Yes.
No.
Right? Like
well,
it absolutely
Yes.
Les
pushes
Mis
you
or
to
Sweeney
expand your
Todd,
thinking
sort of,
about what
yeah.
musical theater is, what
Yeah.
Broadway
Sweeney
is.
Todd. Oh my
Well,
God.
they were killing.
I will be the first, and I'll go on the record to say and recognize that while this is one of my favorites, I know that this is not going to be what is driving most audiences.
Well,
to
you were
the
smart.
Broadway
What did it?
series.
6 performances or something, and it was packed.
It was packed. Yeah, it was great.
packed.
Yes.
See,
Which was great. I mean, because I know one of the conversations from another group that's considering building a new theater is that the Hobby Center is so big for a local musical theater, but it doesn't appear to be too big for Broadway across America.
No.
So Seraphim Hall has 2,650 seats, and we are essentially at complete 100% capacity for our Broadway series.
Awesome.
Which runs on average about 12 productions a year, and they typically run for 1 week, but in some cases up to 5 or 6 weeks per production. So we have in Houston one of the most popular Broadway series in all of the country, which is such a sign of the interest in the arts and passion for the arts in Houston.
So speaking of the Broadway series, let's talk about that. So in the next few months, I know that the 25-26 Founders Club and Beyond Broadway series is just announced, and Jazz at the Lincoln Center. Tell us what's happening.
Well, this is all under the umbrella of the new presented programming. So the Hobby Center has always, in recent years, been the presenter of the Broadway series. Outside of that, everything that happened in our building is effectively produced and curated by other arts organizations and artists. We are now taking and stepping into that role as curator and presenter. And so some of the first artistic initiatives are exactly what you just defined. Beyond Broadway, we're going into our 3rd season. This is all about the intimate connection with our most celebrated musical theater artists who don't often make it on the road. Because while Ben Platt may have starred in Parade in New York, he is not touring 8 shows a week for 52 weeks across the country to do this incredible piece. While we would love that, it's just not realistic based on the popularity of his career. And so we have created an opportunity to bring those artists to Houston for intimate performances across stages on our campus, where they really get to tell their story as artists and talk about their careers and then sing music that have ultimately made them the stars that they are. And, it was one of our kind of interesting observations as we came into this work at the Hobby Center that those artists are not frequently presented in Houston. Almost every other major city across the country has series where they're constantly seeing the Broadway greatest celebrities, and we haven't had that to date.
For as much as important as the theater is, like I said, largest amount of seats for the arts next to Manhattan, to Houston, there's a level where we don't stretch. We don't go out of our comfort zones. And I'm not just saying to see, a show that I didn't love. That's not, that isn't what I'm talking about is stretch. But I think we're ready. I'm going to go on for a second straight to the Founders Club, right? Founders Room. What do we call
Live at the Founders Club.
Live at the Founders Club.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough. This started last year, if I'm correct. Last year.
Yeah.
And I just was so lucky, to have Mark as somebody I knew and my friend's company sponsoring it unbeknownst to me. But so I attended one night by myself on a Friday night. It was the most fun, unbelievable. And it was the night that you were having one of these Broadway things downstairs. And everybody thought I was going to that, which they're all excited because I'm going to be with Hugh Jackman's girlfriend, which I was not. I was upstairs.
Miss Sutton Foster was in Seraphim Hall, yes.
But upstairs, oh my gosh, I can't remember what her
So
name
what is it?
Storm Large.
Storm Large.
So
It
what
was
is the
the night
Founders
of my
Club
life.
situation for those that
So
don't know?
It's
the
a
Founders
nightclub.
Club is an event space.
It's a nightclub.
It's just above
Yeah.
the restaurant at the
Yeah.
Hobby Center,
Sorry.
which many folks have been to the Hobby Center and been
Yeah.
to the restaurant. And ultimately, we're thinking about areas of the campus that we can activate.
Mm-hmm.
And this room was designed to host private events every night of the week when the building was first designed. Houston has an incredible philanthropic community,
Yes.
but one single organization is not hosting donor receptions
Every night.
every night of the week.
Yeah.
And so we thought, how do we expand and ultimately in line with our goal of creating interesting opportunities that push us to experience the arts in new ways, exactly as you identified, Leisa.
Oh, I loved it.
We ultimately created this jazz club, intimate music room experience where we're featuring this season jazz, world music, and then Broadway songbooks. So artists
Nice.
from New York and Houston-based musical theater
I
artists.
figured I'd get with my buddy here and see if we wanted to do 4.
You
Like a small
absolutely
series.
must.
Yeah,
Please.
for
Subscriptions
sure.
are on sale right now.
I
These
know.
happen
So
just
how
2
do
nights.
people find
Well, I forgot my brochure. It's in my bag at home.
how do we find out more about not just this, but all the things that are happening at the Hobby Center?
Certainly the Hobby Center's website, thehobbycenter.org, will help
Mm-hmm.
you identify all of the upcoming performances.
Yes.
And live at the Founders Club, I would just say these performances are about 75 to 90 minutes each. There's no intermission. And it's all about hospitality and visiting with friends, family,
Mhm.
building community.
Oh, I
So
love
food and
that.
beverage service opens about 90 minutes before the show
Mhm.
and then continues throughout the performance. And so you can order drinks, light bites during the performance. Everybody's seated at cabaret tables.
Oh, nice.
So it's a totally different defining
Yeah.
experience from coming to see Parade in a 2,650 seat proscenium theater.
Totally different. And honestly, I think I'm trying to think, if I was a center table, I was one back from the stage. The peripheral tables to me, which were about 6, we all were talking to each other. It
Yeah.
was not, and I I was hardly
Were
alone.
you talking to them or were they talking to you back? But with that, we do need to wrap up, Lovely.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, Mark, it has been such a treat to have you here with us. So tell us again how people can find out more about
Hobbycenter.org.
Hobbycenter.org. What are you about to say, Lovely?
Hobbycenter.org. All I have to say, I'm just thrilled that you're here. Thank you. I'm going to be nice. Okay.
You are
I'm
nice.
closing out lovely. Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be at
We'll
the Life
be
of
there.
Pi
Well, I'm going to be
opening,
looking
right?
forward to seeing that subscription come through
Yeah,
for Live
we'll
at the
be there.
Founders Club.
Yeah,
We
we're
will do
definitely
Great
gonna do
opportunity to
Yeah.
host guests from the show as you go into this new season.
We
that.
don't-
Yeah,
Maybe.
which will be great
About
for
that part.
us.
Yeah,
Huh?
maybe we'll host people. Maybe we just host ourselves. You don't know.
No, I don't mean at the Founders Club. Have them here on the show.
Oh, no,
performers,
he meant
yeah.
like bringing people to the.
Bringing them
Absolutely.
there.
Bring it
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Okay,
I don't
we'll,
know.
we'll go to break. Magical's giving us the break so we can deliberate. Thank you again, Mark. And with that, we'll be back.
Thank you.
We'll be back.